Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another AMA session with Dr. Behnam. I'm Dr. Behnam. I'm one of the co-founders of HappyEd, and welcome everyone. Welcome. So today's topic is basically, what if I see no results? So this is a very commonly asked question. So typically with HappyEd, actually true with really everything else, including the oral medications. You have to do the medication consistently for about 4 to 6 months. Again, this is true with the topical finasteride, oral finasteride, even topical Rogaine over the counter, whatever you guys do. You have to do it for about 4 to 6 months to see results. And the key is to do it consistently. So let's say if you do it consistently twice a day and you're not seeing any results. So what are the next steps? So first of all, we do encourage basically our patients to do the derma roller along with the topical HappyEd. And the reason is because when you apply the topical on top and you do derma roller afterwards, it basically increase the penetration basically, and the fluid goes into the scalp basically more. So that's the benefit of derma roller. In addition, sometimes we also suggest basically adding an oral medication to it. So look, sometimes it may not work for everyone, and the vice versa is true as well. We have patients that are also on the oral finasteride propofol medication, and they take it for 6 months or even a year, it doesn't work, and sometimes we add the topical to it. And the same is true with this case. So let's say if you're the topical first and you do it for 6 months and it's not working, then we sometimes recommend going on the oral medication. But doing this, sometimes having both combined together, the oral and topical finasteride, sometimes really makes the results a lot more powerful, and people get much more effective, just benefits from it. And so basically, again, so you do three things again. First, you gotta do it for at least 6 months, because I feel like a lot of patients just try for a month and they see no growth and they give up. Well, that's not right, because you have not given a full trial yet. So 6 months, do it individually by itself, the topical. Please do it with a derma roll. That's number two. That's going to give you better results. And number three, add the oral medication to it. And if that doesn't basically help, we could also basically switch from topical finasteride to topical dutasteride. And the topical dutasteride could sometimes give patients basically just more benefits because the molecule just works differently. So there are a lot of different things that we could do. The most important thing basically is communicating with us about what you guys are experiencing. We are here to help and guide you guys. Remember, not everyone is the same. This is why Happy is a customizable formula, and people just respond differently. So if you're not seeing the results that you want, please let us know. And also, it's possible that some patients start at lower concentration of finasteride and minoxidil, so we could always basically up the dosage of those two, add oral to it, switch the finasteride to dutasteride. So a lot of things that we could do. So please reach out to us, and our support team will help basically guide you in the right direction as well. So, what should patients do if they need a different formula? So if you guys need a different formula, please just email help as support. And basically just email us as help@happyed.com, and we'll be more than happy to basically change the formula out for you. Remember, HappyEd is the only customizable topical finasteride formula, and the finasteride, we could increase or lower the dosage. The minoxidil component, we could increase or lower the dosage, and we could even switch the finasteride to dutasteride. So there's a lot that we could do. So please let us know, and we'll be more than happy basically to do it for you guys. So if I haven't seen results with finasteride, would dutasteride help? Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's possible basically that dutasteride could help. The reason is because finasteride usually inhibits one enzyme, testosterone converter, and dutasteride inhibits basically both enzymes, 5-alpha-reductase 1 and 5-alpha-reductase 2. In fact, in clinical studies of comparing oral finasteride to oral dutasteride actually worked better. So if finasteride is not working for you, please email us at help@happyed, and we'll be more than happy to switch that to dutasteride, and we'll ship you out a new bottle. Should you use derma after you apply HappyEd or before? So there's really no right or wrong way of doing it. We actually like patients to apply HappyEd on first, basically, and then derma roller, and that's going to allow basically the medication to penetrate deeper. So I will do derma roller after HappyEd. Can I still use Happy Head after expiration date for how long? So that's a very good question. So typically Happy Head has a 6 months expiration date, except for the water-based formula, which is 1 month. The way we look at it is that, look, the medication does not expire the day of or the day after, the product expires. So yes, so you could go ahead and basically use it. I mean, look, I wouldn't wait a year or 6 months to use it, but if it's like a month or two, I think that's perfectly fine. I'm seeing results after almost 2.5 months, and I'm very happy. My question is, 6 months in, how long will it grow? So far, I think the hair had growth, it's about a 1 inch or longer. So 1/8 of an inch or longer. Okay, so perfectly. So thank you so much for that question. So one of our patients here has been using the product for 2.5 months and seeing about a 1/8 inch of growth. The question is how much longer it's gonna get. We really don't know. Everyone's really different. I'm very happy that you are seeing improvements. So that's very exciting. So just keep on doing it. I mean, eventually the product is going to plateau, so which means you're still going to see growth, but it's kind of slow down. And pretty much after 6 or 8 months, what you see is pretty much what you're going to get. But just keep it up, and we'll go from there. At that point, let's say about 6 or 8 months, if you don't see any more hair growth, you could always go on oral finasteride, and but combining the two, basically, you could see better results. How do topical and oral medication differ in terms of side effects? So great question. So about 2 years ago, I wrote an analysis of all the clinical studies out there with respect to the side effects of topical finasteride. So when you compare topical finasteride to oral finasteride, the topical in clinical study showed that it could have lower risk of sexual side effects. In fact, there were some studies that there were no sexual side effects at all. And also in my own practice, I've had patients that were on oral finasteride and then went on topical and they had side effects on oral finasteride. Went on topical and did not have any side effects. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't have side effects on topical finasteride. It just means that since you're not ingesting them orally, the risk of sexual side effects could potentially be lower, and many studies have suggested that as well. And in fact, that was the main reason why we made topical finasteride, because of the lower risk of sexual side effects. Can you share what makes Happy Head different from Neutrophil? Great question. Neutrophil is a multivitamin. And you know what? It's a good multivitamin. I have a lot of my patients on it, and that's fine. But it's just a vitamin. It's not prescription. It does not have prescription grade ingredients in it. Happy Head is a prescription grade, customizable, topical finasteride fortified with minoxidil, retinoic acid, and hydrocortisone. It's a special blend of prescription grade products that in clinical studies have shown that basically it causes hair growth. Neutrophil is a non-prescription multivitamin. Now, you still need multivitamin to grow your hair, but Neutrophil is not prescription, not really based on, I mean, I've yet to read a clinical study from it, but it's a good vitamin. And actually, we are very proud of the people basically who made Neutrophil, and I think they've done a great job. Happy Head is coming out with our own product, very similar to Nutrafol, and even better, it has more biotin and collagen in it. But that being said, I think the multivitamins are important. So Happy Head is different than Nutrafol. Both great products, but I think the Happy Head topical prescription grade solution and the Happy Head multivitamin, I think they're both better. Would adding in oral finasteride increase risk of side effects? So potentially yes, but if you already been on the topical finasteride, your body has already gotten used to the finasteride, so the risk of sexual side effects from adding the oral is very minimum. In fact, in my office, what I do is that patients go on topical finasteride first, and patients' body get used to it, and then we add oral finasteride. And in those patients, basically, the risk of side effects is basically quite minimum. Thank you for that question. I'm a Black American female. The product would turn white in my hair. Also, it will make my hair hard. Isn't there anything in particular I can do to combat this? Um, so, so we could send you a special serum that we have. Basically, that's a very soothing serum. So that will help. Basically, will preventing making your hair hard. Also, so what I guess what you're referring to is the flakiness. That's what I mean would turn white. Yeah, so it's the minoxidil, the Rogaine, basically that's basically causing some irritation on the scalp, uh, and making it a little flaky. So again, the serum would help it. Also, another thing we could do, we could also take out the minoxidil and retinoic acid. That will reduce the flakiness. Also, we could send you the water-based formula. The water-based formula, which is new, has lower risk of it has lower concentration of alcohol in it, so it's less irritating. So please reach out to support. It's basically help@happyhead.com, and we'll be more than happy to search the formula out for you. I think probably going with the lower minoxidil concentration or and no retinoic acid is probably the best way to go, and we'll send you the serum as well. So ask for the serum and the lower minoxidil concentration. Thank you for that question. I've been using it for a little over a year, and unfortunately, I haven't seen any change. I've been on oral finasteride earlier without much luck, though. The hair seems to be bed accelerated. The hair loss seems to be bed accelerated. Do you think it's worth continuing, especially after no visible results? I will switch out to topical dutasteride. So this is what I would do. So it seems that you're on oral finasteride, you didn't see much results. You're on topical finasteride, you didn't see much results. It's possible that you may just not be a good responder to finasteride. So I would switch to topical dutasteride and see how you do. I'll probably try that for a few minutes. If that doesn't work, then you could probably add oral dutasteride to it and see how that does. So I would try the other products that we have. Please reach out to help@happy.com, and we'll be more than happy to switch you to the topical dutasteride.
Can you go over the scalp serum ingredients?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think yes. So the scalp serum. You mean just the new serum we're coming out? The scalp soothing serum?
Yeah, I'm gonna post the ingredients.
Oh, I see. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Really appreciate it. Um, Evelyn is posting up the question right now, so I could see it.
Okay, I'll post it in the comments.
Got it. Here we go. So can you please go over the scalp serum key ingredients? So yeah, so let's go over it. So basically, we are coming out with this botanical scalp serum, which is very moisturizing. At the same time, it is it's based on clinical studies, as it's also basically been shown to stimulate basically hair growth. So basically, here are the ingredients. One is biotin, and we all know basically biotin is important for hair growth. We have niacinamide. Niacinamide is actually anti-inflammatory, and there's some such as studies suggesting basically that it could also stimulate the hair growth as well. We also have caffeine, and basically caffeine basically is important for the blood flow to the scalp. And as we know that the more blood flow there is, it's washing out the DHT. And by also more blood flow increases your oxygen basically to the area, and that has also been shown to reduce some of the DHT concentration. Also, other important ingredients includes basically various roots and leaves and flowers and seed extracts that basically help to promote basically hair growth. We also have basically some of the extract from the nettle, which is also very important. So again, so we have multiple different seed and root extracts basically, which are more botanical, that are going to help basically with the hair growth. So this is our new serum coming out, and patients could use it in conjunction with basically the Happy Head prescription topical finasteride, or use it alone by itself. This is going to be very, very soothing. So if some patients are experiencing some irritation, flakiness, this is not only going to soothe the scalp, but it's also going to cause more hair growth. So if here's another question. So if you've been using Happy Head for 6 months with no good results, then you add oral. Should you wait another 6 months for results? That's a very good question. Usually the results are basically when you add oral is a little bit early. It comes out, the results are faster. So more like around 3 to 4 months. Yeah, but sometimes it could take up to 6 months, but usually faster, about 3 to 4 months. If I'm not seeing results with spironolactone and I'm a woman under 50, is finasteride a good idea? So here's the thing. So we as a company have a policy of not giving finasteride to females below age 50. I know other companies may do it. We have decided a while ago that we don't want to do it because of the potential risk that, God forbid, if you get pregnant, then it's a category X. You have to get an abortion. with all this new abortion laws, it's pretty complicated. So we typically don't like to do that, but you could go on oral minoxidil. So if you're already currently on spironolactone, please reach out to your doctor, and we could probably switch that to oral minoxidil, and that may work better. Um, or sometimes, we might add the spironolactone with minoxidil both together. But you have to realize they're both blood pressure medications. So if you're going to do that, you do have to check your blood pressure on a daily basis in order to make sure, or on a weekly basis, in order to make sure the blood pressure doesn't drop too much. When should I start seeing new growth? And what should it look like? I have some baby hairs at 6 weeks. So 6 weeks is really, really early. Again, usually real growth around 4 to 6 months. It should be good, thick hair. But baby hair, look, I'll take baby hairs at any time, but it's usually about 4 to 6 months. I have irritation when I have to pay to try the new formula. So our serum actually, right now, just let us know. I will be more than happy to send the serum out to you complimentary, free of charge. So just reach out to help at Happy, and I will be more than happy to do it. No problem. We want you to have a good experience. We want you to have a good result. Unfortunately, one of the unwanted side effects of the product is irritation. That is something that we're working hard to fix, but it's something the natural properties of some of the ingredients we're using, the minoxidil, the retinoic acid, the alcohol base. But we have worked really hard. We have just come out with our water-based formula. What a water-based formula is, basically the solution basically has a lot less alcohol in it, so it's less irritating, less flakiness you're gonna have, which is great. Um, Again, a couple of things about happy. So first of all, guys, using the derma roller afterwards, very important. Patients will get better results. Number two, doing the products consistently is the key. Two pipette, two half drops twice a day is really the key. um Somebody asked, is there any age requirement for the product to work? There's really typically not. I mean, you can't get a prescription if you're below age 18. uh but not really. I mean, we do have some older patients using it. The only caveat with that is that, I mean, I have some patients sending photos and they have no hair at all. Well, if you have no hair, nothing is going to grow. You do have to have some you have to have some hair there. The ideal patients for any actually hair products out there, I mean, being Happy Head or any oral finasteride or finasteride or whatever, Neutrophil, somebody brought it up earlier, is that the ideal patient, when you look at someone's scalp, you're able to see this. When you look at someone's hair, you're able to see the scalp, but there's still hair above it. Those are the ideal patient. If somebody's completely bald, it is just not going to work. Hey, Dr. Ben, I'm a little late in the game here and not sure if this has already been asked, but I want to ask if the water-based formula is supposed to be as effective as the regular one. So is the water-based formula going to be as effective? Absolutely, yes. All the essential ingredients are there. That's a great question, by the way. We should probably post that up. So the water-based formula and our regular Happy Head formula has the same ingredients: finasteride, minoxidil, retinoic acid, hydrocortisone, in an aloe base. The only difference is that in order for minoxidil to dissolve in the solution, you need alcohol. And there are typically two forms of alcohol. There's propylene glycol and ethanol. These are the two alcohol that you need. We have been able to somehow get this to a point where we use a lot less alcohol. So there's still some there because you need the monoxide to dissolve in the solution, but there's a lot less alcohol. So as a result, it's less irritating. But that's a great question. In fact, I actually think it should even be more effective because it's less irritating. So people will basically use it more consistently. Thank you so much for that question, Chris. We really appreciate it. I'm seeing thicker hair growth. That's great. But also seems to be losing baby hairs during the wash. Is that normal? Absolutely. This is what I say. The more hair you have, the more hair you're always going to lose, guys. Remember this. The more hair you have, the more hair you're going to lose, especially baby hair. So those are normal. So let's just basically applaud to the fact that I see more hair growth. I like it. So that's great. Can you do 2 ml at night instead to avoid dealing with the texture in the morning? I would probably do 1.5. So basically, the question is, instead of doing 1 ml in the morning and 1 ml at night, can I just do 2 ml instead? Just at once. I feel the 2 ml could be a little bit irritating, so I will probably do 1.5 ml at night. And again, remember, you could also basically wash it off after an hour or two. So I would do 1.5 ml.
Is the expiration date for the water formula the same as the oil formula?
No, it is not. So the water-based formula has a 1 month expiration date, whereas the regular formula has a 6 months. This is due to an FDA regulation. FDA says that if you add water to a product, um, you have to put the expiration as 1 month. I mean, I really don't think the products expire in a month. We just have to comply by FDA rules and laws. So, so the way it's gonna work is it's that let's say if you order on June 2nd, your product is made on June 2nd, and then it's shipped out on June 3rd, and then 2 3 days for delivery. So you're probably gonna on June 6th or June 7th. I mean, that's already 5 days there. Now you have a month to use it. So I would just use the product. Again, if it goes a little beyond expiration date, it's not a big deal. It's just by FDA law, we have to put the 1 month expiration date on the product since it has water in it, and it goes across basically for basically everyone. And believe it or not, it's actually really difficult for us to make this because literally the product is made fresh just when you order it. It's actually a pharmaceutical nightmare, but we still do it for our patients because we truly believe that if it causes less irritation and you're gonna get better results. Also, remember that if you're still getting irritated, we have the scalp serum that will be more than happy to send you guys. So just reach out to help at Happy Head. We're more than happy to switch you to water-based formula. We'll also basically give you the scalp serum as well at no charge. We are here to help you out. Remember, Happy Head is a freshly made product just for you. And honestly, I could say this, and I don't think any other company out there could say this. It's made fresh, delivered to your door. It's a topical prescription grade, and it's customizable. If there's no hair on the scalp, but there's clear follicles there, can Happy start growing hair? I mean, it's possible. I mean, that's a good question. Yes, it's possible. I mean, everyone's different. So the fact that you have the follicles, I mean, there is hair. I mean, like I have some patients that when you look at their scalp, there's no follicles, with them, nothing's gonna grow. If you see the follicles, that is fine. Um, I'm 3 months in, and I'm seeing fine hair growth in the peak area in the front. When will the actual hair follow? So that's a very good question. So the fine hair is eventually going to turn into basically thick hair, but it's going to take some time. So this is why you really have to use it about 6 months to see how you are going to do. Again, but at least I'm happy that you're seeing the fine hair growth. And guys, and also I'm going to go back to our multivitamin discussion earlier on. Look, multivitamins are basically very important. This is why Happy Head, we're coming out with our own multivitamin product, similar to other brands out there. And what's something that we really made what we're doing different with our multivitamin is that we went through and researched the literature about basically the concentration of biotin and collagen, and honestly we made our some of the concentrations of our products higher than anyone else in the market. So I truly believe that Happy is going to have the best multivitamin formula there is. And multivitamin is important because your vitamin D is important, your iron level is important, B6 is important, B12 is important. Those are what we call the foundations of hair growth. If you don't have those vitamins, your hair is never going to grow no matter what you do. So multivitamin is important. Does water-based formula cost the same as the regular formula? Yes. What was it?
98.
Well, right now, I think the water-based formula is priced a little bit higher, basically, than the regular formula. It's $98, but we want to have some promotions and everything. So if you reach out to us, we'll be more than happy, to give you some coupon codes to try it out.
For existing customers, it stays.
Okay, so yeah, so thank you so much, Evelyn. So basically, Evelyn just informed me that for existing customers, basically, it stays the same price actually as the regular formula. So that's why we want to make it easy for you guys basically to switch out the product. So if you're having some irritation, basically, you could easily switch it out to a water-based formula. So for current customers, the price is the same. So if you guys are having any issues with the current product, please let us know. We're going to switch out to the water-based formula. So how long can you start to lower the dose to maintain results instead? So typically I would start at like about 6 7 months, and then you could probably lower to once a day. Dr. Benham, how do you feel about derma rolling? I love derma rolling. I think derma rolling is great. I think it's really important actually. It's one of something else that you could do basically to increase the efficacy of the product and see better results. Um, and I recommend derma rolling after you apply the solution on. So I will apply the solution and then derma roll on top of it. I will be very gentle. Please do not make yourself bleed. Um, how much is your oral finasteride? It's funny you asked that question because we're literally looking at that right now, actually. Um, I think our oral finasteride,
1 month is 24, 2 months is 48, and 3 months is 70.
yeah, 1 month is 24 and 3 months is 72. So, and I'll have Evelyn basically post that up as well. So we just had a patient that said, I started my prescription to irritation. And he's like, do I have to pay 98? No. For former customers and current customers, it's just going to be the same price. The water-based formula is going to be the same price because we want you to basically use it. We want you to see the hair growth. So it does cost us more to make that water-based formula, just because it just requires a lot more manpower at the pharmacy. But we're still going to give it to you as the old price, no problem. Just reach out to support, and we'll be more than happy to basically switch out the product. We'll ship you out a new one. Again, when somebody else asked this question earlier on. About difference between the dutasteride and finasteride. Please remember that finasteride inhibits one enzyme and dutasteride inhibits two enzymes. So, if you're not seeing improvements or results with the finasteride after several months, like maybe 4 months, we will easily switch you out to dutasteride and see if you get better results. Does the solution probably meant for hair growth on the scalp? Will it work on other areas as well? So, great question. These solutions are specifically intended for the scalp because of the fact that they have some hydrocortisone in it. We actually do not want our patients to apply it to their face, like for eyebrows or beard. We are coming out with specific eyebrow and beard formulas, basically that don't have the hydrocortisone, but do not use this product on any other place, please. It's mainly intended for the scalp. Before the happy Hill multivitamins arrives, will taking the Centrum and be good? Yeah, Centrum, Centrum is good. I don't think their vitamin D is high enough, so you could take a separate like 1,000 or 2,000 vitamin D, and that will help it quite a bit. In our Happy Head multivitamin, we specifically designed it so that it has a high vitamin D level. But I don't think Centrum has a high one, so add more vitamin D to your regimen. Is there any way to customize the hair formula to where it won't turn that golden color over time? I've heard that it makes something to do with the aloe. I admire aloe. So basically, one of our patients is saying that can they remove the aloe because it's causing a golden color over time. Have you heard that before?
No, it usually comes in a clear color or a golden color.
Oh, he's talking about the solution. Oh yeah. Um, yeah. I don't think I see what I'm sorry. I thought you were telling I thought you were saying your hair turns golden color. Yeah, no, what happens is that the longer you leave the product, it's going to become a little golden. It's not due to the aloe, it's due to the minoxidil actually in the solution that precipitates out with time. But it really shouldn't make a difference. I mean, the efficacy still should be good. All the products are in it. I'll probably shake a little bit before we apply it. But we don't have one with that aloe. If you actually get the product without minoxidil, that product actually never turns golden color at all. So it's the minoxidil that's turning golden color. Again, it's not a big deal, and you can still use it. It's not a problem. But I don't think there's any way that we could keep it clear unless you take out the minoxidil. But that's a good question, though. Does 100% of the medication need to be massaged into the scalp, or does some of it ultimately need to be massaged on the hair? No, just basically rub it basically into the scalp. Basically, rub it in. So basically, drop it onto your scalp and basically rub it. How much is the Happy Multivitamin? I'm taking biotin 10,000 milligram already. Is it okay to take the the Happy multivitamin still. So when you start taking the Happy multivitamin, you don't need to take the biotin 10,000. That's a lot, because Happy, I think, I have to look. I think it's 6 or 8,000 already. We have not priced out the Happy multivitamin yet, so we should probably have a better pricing uh, by next week.
I'll respond to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Evelyn actually respond to you once the Happy pricing comes out. If you wash out the product after 2 hours, does it reduce efficacy? No, it does not reduce efficacy. And if you are having some irritation, we encourage you basically to do it. That's no problem at all.
Can you do it after 1 hour?
You can still do it after 1 hour. Yes, 1 to 2 hours is perfectly fine. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for another AMA session with Dr. Ben. I love all the questions. And we're gonna see you guys next week. Have a beautiful day. Bye, guys. Have a nice day. Thanks so much to Evelyn, who helps basically really the whole thing and puts all the questions up here for me to see and makes the process really easy. And also thank you so much to Eric, our VP of operations. Okay, one more, and then okay, so actually two more. I'm actually just over 2 months in, and I'm starting to notice less overall shedding. I would say in the last week or so. So I believe that's a positive sign. Smiling face. Well, I'm happy that we can. Yeah. So guys, remember, it takes some time. See, the most common when I have patients in the clinic, the most common thing people say is that, look, I started doing this regimen for a month and it didn't work. Well, guys, it's not gonna work over a month. This is your hair growth. Hair growth has to go through various cycles, and every cycle takes some time. So it really takes some time, basically, to see the hair growth. I see like before and after photos of patients on Instagram, like after 6 weeks or after 3 weeks, and like they have like so much more hair. It's just not possible. I just never believe in that. I mean, it's too good to be true. And when something is too good to be true, it's not true. So things take time. The products takes time for it to work. So the key is to be consistent about it, using it twice a day every day for about 6 months. That's when you're gonna see the best results. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone.